Hi everyone, it's Sue Plumb here to share another scrapbook process video with you. For today's layout, I am playing with that glorious pile of goodies there, which is the Vicki Boutin Color Study collection. Now I have a confession to make. I did purchase this collection last year when it was first released, and I did purchase all of the things from this collection because I really needed all of the things of this collection, but I haven't actually worked with it yet because circumstances in our family changed. We ended up having to move, blah, 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 and it got packed away and it didn't get used. Oh, you can see there, I've also got the stencil set and I've also got the stamp set for this. I had to get all of the things. So anyway, it did get packed away. It didn't get used, and I thought it was high time that it came out of hiding and that I cracked into it because I absolutely love the glorious colours in this collection. Now, I had those series of photos, or that pair of photos there, of my daughter who had been drawing at her desk, sketching at her desk late one night, and had actually fallen asleep face down on her desk because she is her mother's daughter and she loves to create until she drops. So I'm actually going to be documenting those photos, and I thought that they would work perfectly with this collection. Now, I'm going to show you, there are so many pattern papers in this collection, but there are some that are really, really busy, and you often get that in Vicki's collections. So I'm going to show you a great way to use a very busy patterned paper as your background, and a trick to making it work. It's very simple. You just need some white paint. You could use gesso. I'm just using normal old white acrylic paint. And what I'm looking at doing there is I am toning down that really bold pattern in the center of the paper where I know the focal area of my page is going to be. I didn't put it on heavy. You can still see the pattern through it, but it takes some of that bold, striking pattern away, and it stops the background from competing with your foreground in your layout. So if you've got some of these bold pattern papers in your stash and you don't know how to use them for backgrounds, you can use them for backgrounds, but I would recommend doing something like this just to take some of the sting out of it and to stop your background competing with the rest of your page. So I did pull out a few pieces of pattern paper from the paper pad that I had. I had a large tag that I used as a template just to cut out a couple of other tags. The two colours that I chose to work with there obviously are the pink and the green, and they're the B sides of the papers. So they've got those not quite so bold patterns on them. They've still got bold colours, but I didn't need any other really bold patterns going on this page. Now, I still wanted to add some more colour, and of course one of my signature elements is using a doily on my page. So I did choose that bright yellow one there. So I've got pink and I've got green and I've got yellow, but I needed another color. I found the cut apart sheet here was also full of tags, and I thought one of these tags could make it onto the page. The one that I was drawn to instantly was that blue one. I just love that blue color, and I thought that would complete my palette there really well. I wanted lots of color. I wanted this to be fun. It's all about art. So I cut that one out. You can see that I've added baker's twine to all of my tags because I love the texture that they bring to the page. And you can see on those two large tags that I made as well that I actually used some of those little hole reinforcer stickers that you can get usually from a newsagent's or wherever. And I find they are a great little finishing touch on a homemade tag. They just make it look that little bit more professional, for want of a better word, store-bought, whatever you want to say. So yeah, I'm fiddling around with the placement of these tags on my page, and that little blue one is actually giving me a little bit of grief because it's got that little phrase on it, good memories, and it's also got those gorgeous little doodled crosses on it. And I really wanted to try and make the pattern that was on the tag visible, but I just couldn't get the placement to work and have it where I wanted to have it. So in the end, you don't really end up seeing any of those little cute crosses on the tag. But I did manage to keep it in a position where the phrase stays intact. So I've just tacked down all of my tags using a little bit of liquid adhesive. I've added my doily on top. I've also added some frayed gauze for texture, and I've worked out where my photos are going to go. Now, looking at my page here, everything is very, very vertical. So there's that pattern on the background with the pencils that are all running vertically. All of my tags are placed vertically. Because of the size and shape of my photos, they are also vertical. So I really, really needed a horizontal element to start breaking up all of the verticalness of the page. So what I actually did there is I'm using the branding strip from one of the pattern paper sheets. I ended up cutting it in half, and I've placed that branding strip at slightly different levels because you can see the one on the left, because the photo on the left is higher, the one on the left is running into where my daughter's face would be, because you can't see it hidden under the hair. And the one on the right is running in at her eye level as well. Now, that's because when you photograph people, obviously their eyes are the focal point of the picture. So I wanted the horizontal pieces of this layout to draw the viewer's eye into the focal points of those photos. Now, the other thing I've done is I've popped up those photos on the back with a bit of scrap cardboard, and that helps separate them from the background layers as well, which makes sure that your photos will always remain up the highest and they will come up to the viewer's eye first. Because when somebody's looking at your layout, obviously the first thing you want them to see are your photos. That's the reason for the page, right? So your eye will automatically move from the photos. Then they'll move to the layers behind, which are like those foreground layers where I've got the tags and I'm putting the embellishments and all of that. And then you see that the background is then behind that. And that's how you create that depth on your page. So along that horizontal plane, I've also added some of the chipboard stickers. There's that sort of little border strip there that's got the hearts on it. I just cut a little piece off there for the left hand side and for the right hand side, and I layered that over that horizontal branding strip I had there. Now I've picked through the embellishment pack. I've pulled out some things that I thought might work on this page. Obviously I had to go for that giant sort of pot of pencils, which I've tucked in above because she was sketching after all. I found a few floral pieces I thought might work, and now I'm just messing around figuring out, and I pulled out those super cute little paint tubes because even though she wasn't painting in this one, they are so cute. I knew I wanted to include one somewhere. Now, if you have a look at the colours of the embellishments I've used, you can see I've got 3 blue things. So I've got that phrase, which is that do your thing. I've got the blue tag, and I've also got a blue clip from the ephemera pack up in that left corner, and you can see they form that visual triangle around my photos. And I'm trying to include some of each of the colors in different clusters here just to balance out the colors, because the colors, there's a lot of color going on. I ended up tucking that floral piece just underneath the bottom of that tag at the bottom, so it sort of spills down towards that bottom right corner. And now with my title, I'm popping it in that little gap that I had there on the right hand side. So I used the alphas, which I have to say I freaking love. They may be my favorite alphas ever. Like I have lusted after these in my stash for so long and haven't wanted to use them, and finally I've broken into them at last, because there's no use hoarding things, right? So, but I did only do a little short title with those. And then the rest of my title, I actually used some Rosie Studio puffy stickers that I had in my stash because they just finished off that Art Till You Drop title perfectly. And then a few little heart stickers. And that was it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments for me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Bye.